No! 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 Devil man! Devil 666, the mark of the beast! No! Naughty! Naughty jungle of love!
Okay, let's talk about Moses Itauma versus Dillon Whyte. Pre-fight thoughts. Dillon Whyte is in there to take a bag and leave. That's all he's gonna do. He's not gonna throw his vaunted left hook or any kind of big shot like people believe he's going to be or believe he's going to do. In my opinion, they need to let Dillon Whyte try to at least knock out Moses Itauma. Don't give him work. Make it a real fight. Because then you can decide whether or not he's the real deal and go with the flow with him, or find out that he is who he is and then do with what you have with that, right? So I should have said that first before saying that Dillon Whyte was gonna he's gonna go in there, he's gonna take a few punches. He's not gonna try. And I think people believe that he's going to. They're excited because of the way Moses Itauma fights, right? His left hand it's down the pipe, it's quick. However, nobody knows how powerful it actually is because he hasn't really taken a step up, so to say. So going from whoever he went last time to Dillon Whyte as a big step up. And when you're looking at the way that he actually throws his left, the way he attacks, we're talking about Moses Itauma. How do I put it into like analogies, right? So he always goes into a straight line through the front door, right? So what does that mean? It means that he doesn't, quote, use angles. Yes, he uses his foot positioning, but when he attacks, he goes through the front door or whatever it is, right? That's my analogy for it. It leaves him open before he throws it, when he throws it, and after he throws it, as seen by some of the prospects he's fought, in which they were able to hit him clean on the chin, right? So some people believe that Whyte is going to expose Itauma based on that, but Whyte is going to just take the bag and run. And when you're looking at these fake fights that they're making, we're going to talk about, I just watched Precise, right, as I'm uploading this, and I've said this alongside with some other people. If you're going to keep in the sport, you have to make at least one division. I say at least one, right, but make more than one division legitimate, that being the heavyweight division. When you're looking at something like WWE or UFC, they have not been able to keep most of their titles legitimate, right? So for a little while there, they let Pereira legitimately win his titles, whatever it is, defend it, right, against whatever competition they had, where it's a mixed bag of 1 through 10 throughout the global world. However, 1 through 10 was very far, right? Whatever division he was fighting in. Now, saying that, talking about Usyk versus Parker, and what Precise said, like, you had Joseph Parker on every single one, building up to something. Now, if he wasn't building up to an Usyk fight, then what the heck was he building up to, right? And so that fight obviously is the one that makes the most sense. However, if you're going to give Usyk an easy one, I say Wilder. If you can get Wilder in the ring, let him do that, right? Get that name off of his checklist or whatever it is. But when you're looking at even, when was this? Like, I kind of went on a tangent, right? But we're talking about, you have to keep at least some of the divisions legitimate, or you're going to lose all the viewers because they know it's fraudulent, right? And so, yeah, you can still have a lot of the fights in those weight classes that generate a lot of views and all of this stuff, but you have to at least keep the champion legitimate. I'm talking something like, again, going back to like UFC, whatever, right? Like, I think it's 145, right? Where I think Oliveira was the champion, something like that. No one watches that anymore, right? I think it's vacant. 145 is vacant in UFC. Now that I think about it, but you have to at least keep it legitimate. And when you're looking at the way, now we're gonna go to whatever I was gonna talk about. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Whatever it was, they had Matchroom versus Queensberry, right? And Queensberry just swept the floor with Matchroom. I think Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, right? So the guy with the bullet hole in his head, the old dude, all of his fighters beat Eddie Hearn's fighters, and they said, oh, wait for Dubois versus Anthony Joshua. Dubois beat up Joshua, right? And when you look at what Queensberry dude said, he said something, I'm going to paraphrase it, but he said something along the lines of like, Eddie Hearn's fighters aren't real. It's not necessarily our guys are better. We're just having real fights, and they aren't. Right? And so you're looking at Moses Itauma versus Dillon Whyte. Quote, and I just put this in Google. It says crossroads. It's a crossroads for Moses Itauma on how they're going to push him. If he's going to be the real deal, they should let Dillon Whyte fight. Even Dillon Whyte probably hasn't trained a fucking lick, right? So this is just my own preference instead of what is, right? So Dillon Whyte probably didn't even train, probably just train a little bit to look good, throw little punches, look like he's going to actually show up to try to do something he's not going to. Which is, it's tough for Itauma if this fight goes the way that I'm saying it will go. Because you're still asking questions on if he's the real deal, because obviously the talent is there, but you're looking at the flaws that I just said earlier in this video, in which he always takes the front door, right? And how if he's gonna show improvements on his technique and how he sets up his punches, it would be this fight had it been real, because now it's too late to give Dillon Whyte a chance of actually showing up to win. Which, I mean, he hasn't fought in like 5 years or something like that, so whatever, right? Thanks for watching.